Okay, so a few days ago, Apple announced the new iPhone 12, iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12 Pro, and iPhone 12 Pro Max. Firstly, Apple, please change your naming scheme at some point. Like, I like it and it is clear, but like, I don't know, make it cleaner. But regardless, the price does increase with every step, from iPhone 12 mini being such a good price. I would actually recommend an iPhone now. Actually, for those of you going budget conscious, I can actually recommend an iPhone now with iOS 14. It's the first time I ever thought I'd say that. I can recommend people to have an iPhone. Yeah, this is just playing around with iOS 14 on my iPad makes me feel like I can recommend an iPhone. So I still recommend Android if you're into customization, but if you're not too worried about leaps and bounds of it, the app drawer is fine. But let's get started with the iPhone 12 Pro. So the iPhone 12 Pro. Now, Apple's kind of slogan on their website is that it's a leap year, because over here in the UK, I think everywhere, it's a leap year. So we only, I think it's an extra day in February. So yeah, an extra day in February. So, but anyway, and they're saying that because it's a leap year, they've also done a massive leap in performance, if that makes sense, which kind of does. So let's go to specs of the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max. So let's start with things that are on both. They both come in 4 different colours. This is Pro models. The Pro models come in silver, graphite, gold, and a beautiful Pacific blue. I love this, honestly, it's so good. They both have ceramic shield front, which says it's super strong. There's a textured matte glass back and stainless steel design. So it's definitely good quality. As for storage, they start on a 128GB all the way up to 512. That is again the same for both models. The Pro Non-Max is 187 grams, the Pro Max is 226. In terms of screen size, it's a 6.1 inch on the Pro and a 6.7 inch on the Pro Max. They of course both have the Super Retina XDR display. Quick tip, XDR display, I don't know exactly what that is, but point is, don't worry about it too much. It's just Apple's fancy marketing terms for their incredible display quality. I do have to credit Apple where I can. So on the Pro Non-Max, you have a 2532 by 1170 pixel resolution at 460 ppi. And the Pro Max has a 2778 by 1284 pixel resolution at 458 ppi. I'm actually, what does that stand for? Pixels per inch. There we go. Both models have a HDR display, a True Tone wide color, P3 Gambit, I believe, haptic touch, contrast ratio of 2 million to 1, 800 nits max brightness on typical with a 12,000 nits max brightness in HDR mode, fingerprint resistant oleophobic coating, and support for display of multiple languages and characters simultaneously. So the things you kind of expect on a smartphone nowadays. They're IP68 water resistant, and they have the A14 Bionic chip with the next generation neural engine. So the A14 Bionic is definitely an upgrade. I'm not sure how much, I haven't seen any benchmarks for it yet, but when we do get benchmarks, I'll be happy to let you know. As for cameras, cameras are a confusing thing. So, the Pro has a 12 megapixel camera system, so the ultra wide is 2.4 apertures with 120 degrees of field of view, and the wide is 1.6 aperture, but the telephoto is where it splits. So for the telephoto, you have a 2.0 aperture on the iPhone 12 Pro and 2.2 aperture on the Pro Max. In terms of zoom, again, it does change actually. So 2 times optical in, 2 times optical out, 4 times optical zoom range on the 12 Pro, with up to 10 times digital zoom on the Pro. On the Pro Max, you had 2.5 in, 2 out, 5 optical zoom range, with digital zoom up to 12 times. Night mode portraits are enabled by a LiDAR scanner. That is definitely nice to see. Originally came to iPad Pro, now on iPhones. Portrait mode with advanced bokeh and depth control. Portrait lighting with 6 different effects. And I'm not going to bother reading off the rest of this because all of this is the things that you would expect and a boring tech stack. Video recording, you can do 4K video recording at 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, or 60 frames per second, with 1080 at 30 or 60 and 720 at 30. It has optical image stabilization on the wide camera and the same zoom functions as on the photo. It has Face ID enabled by the True Depth camera system, and of course still had Apple Pay using Face ID. They do all have 5G. They all have 5G connection now, which I think is absolutely incredible. 5G connection is nothing new, and they were first rolling out last year, but it's good to see Apple kind of join, because I was kind of skeptical of Apple joining that trend this year. I thought they might do it next year. They tend to wait until things are a bit more widely rolled out. So that's the Pro lineup of phones. Let's go to the Mini and just iPhone 12. Because the way that they're doing it this year is kind of, you've got two, let's say 2 different lineups. And whilst all 4 phones support 5G, the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Mini are just a bit less powerful in a small way. So they have the same A14 Bionic and a similar system, but in terms of their colours, they only come in black, white, product red, green and blue on both, with a glass back and aluminium design. They start at 64GB of capacity and go up to 256GB. The Mini is 133 grams, while the just iPhone 12 standard is 162. The Mini has a 5.4 inch screen compared to the standard 6.1 inch screen. They have HDR display, True Tone, etc, etc. A14 Bionic chip, IP68 water resistance. They have 2 12 megapixel cameras, an ultra wide and a wide camera. It's the same on both. The ultra wide is 2.4 aperture with a 120 degree field of view, whilst the wide is a 1.6, with 2 times optical zoom out and up to 5 times digital zoom. They also both have OIS, which is to be expected, and video recording is HDR video with Dolby Vision up to 30 FPS, 4K recording at 24 FPS, 30 FPS or 60 FPS. Everything else is the same. True depth camera, everything else is exactly the same, including 5G. So all models have 5G, gigabit LTE, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5, and more. And everything else is what you would expect from your iPhone. Now, if we go to take a look at the prices of these iPhones, the prices have gone down significantly. So on their site, when it wants to load, come on Apple, give me a loading time, will ya? So the Mini starts at £700 here in the UK. £700. And it goes up to, I'm just going to do what it goes up to at the highest here, for those who really need the 256 gig. It goes up to 850. If you have an iPhone to trade in, and let's say you have I know, let's say you have a 7. Let's say you have an iPhone 7. And you have just a standard 32 gigabit with good condition. It can be worth up to about £80, but you have to enter the serial number, and I don't have a serial number, so yeah. Point is though, that the pricing on these new iPhones is not extortionate. And it's good to see Apple kind of lowering the prices of their phones actually. Yeah, sorry I don't sound very enthusiastic. No, yeah, sorry, I literally just woke up half an hour ago, so I'm gonna need to make this because I haven't all week, so I figured I'd do it now. The new iPhones are out. They are absolutely incredible, as always with Apple. Amazing design, okay features. I wish they had an in-display fingerprint sensor. It's not hard to do. If Samsung can do it, OnePlus can do it, lots of companies can do it. By the way, OnePlus, they revealed the OnePlus 8T at the same time as announcing that the co-founder Carl Pei is actually leaving the company. Not sure why he's left, but the fact that he is leaving does show a significant shift. I'm not really going to go over the 8T. It's fairly similar to the 8 and 8 Pro. They say it's about in between from what I'm hearing, so I'm not going to go over it much. OnePlus phones are good, but I think the iPhone right now is probably the one I'd actually recommend. If you're looking for a phone in that price that's above £600, like 700 and up, this is what I recommend. Actually, no. Okay, right. I would recommend for at this price you either get an iPhone or you get one of the Samsung models. Again, I do have to say Samsung are a great company and I do love their phones. I'm recording this on a Samsung phone with stereo speakers. It's a Galaxy A71 that is £400. This is the phone I recommend people buy. Anything above that, you want to step up above that, I recommend a Pixel 5. A step up above that, I recommend an iPhone 12 mini. Above that, I then recommend an S20 or a Note 20. And if you're looking to go supreme, then I recommend the Galaxy Fold 2. So, yeah, but long story short though, the iPhone 12 pricing, the 12 mini starts at £700. The 12 itself starts at £800. And the iPhone 12 Pro lineup, let's just go out to the iPhone 12 Pro quickly. Why is Apple's website so slow? That is actually something I really do want to find out about. That is something I'm interested in. Here we go. The 12 Pro does start at £1,000. Again, they are back at that price tier, but if I remember correctly, that was at one point their entry price. So definitely good to see that. Meanwhile, the Pro Max is at £1,100. The pricing on this new series of iPhone is definitely broader than it has been before. And you know what? I'm happy and I'm proud of them for doing that because they've got a £200 price difference between two of their phones, and the main difference between all of their phones is the camera system. That is the difference you get. Camera system. Like, if you don't care about your telephoto camera that much and you just need an ultra wide and a wide, then go get a mini. Honestly, the mini is the best iPhone to buy, and I would recommend it to anyone who's on an iPhone now or wants to get an iPhone. If you're looking for a new phone and you're on Android, I do still recommend you're on Android just because I prefer the way Android works. I personally think if you're on Android, you want to stay with Android. Don't forget, if you do want that iOS look and feel, you can download a launcher. It's like you can customize it, because the thing about Apple is on Android, you can't connect to your computer. You can't, well, unless you have a Mac, you can't connect to your computer as easily. With Android phone, yeah, you're just connected. It's really good. But anyway, that is kind of everything in terms of the main phone announcements. I'm kind of breezing over these announcements quickly, just because I want to get onto the gaming news. I'm sorry, it's gaming season right now, and Sony have done a mess up. Sony have messed up. This is coming from Push Square, the actual PlayStation The PlayStation people, yeah, I call them PlayStation people. They're the guys who do PlayStation news. Now, they're reporting. No, continue blocking ads. I installed an ad blocker a while ago on Chrome. So much faster loading times for everything. I love it. But another indie devs on Sony are actually saying on PlayStation Store, saying that Sony denied PlayStation Store sale requests. I'm not even kidding. So, Lucas Pope, the developer of Return of the Obra Dinn, has discounted their game to half price. Yeah, it was half price on all other stores, and Sony said no. Now, if it was the only one, it wouldn't mean much, but it's not. It actually seems to be something quite well done, as the only time sales really happen on PlayStation Store is no, this is not right. Like, a company can't tell Sony that they want to discount it. Like, they don't have the ability to discount it, and that's not good. And annoyingly, it actually makes PS4 look like not look good in terms of developing for it. It doesn't make it look good to develop for. And Sony pockets 30% from it every time. Now, some people are saying that Sony only allows these sorts of things to happen when it fits in with their agenda. Yeah, definitely possible, but that is the only time they allow it. So, you know. But it's just not right, really. I don't think that should be happening, but yeah. So, indie devs are unable to discount games on the Sony store. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words for this story, really. If a developer doesn't have price control over their game, then who owns their game at this point? Like, does the PlayStation Store suddenly own their game? It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know, because obviously I'm a developer. I'm developing a game right now. Currently swapping between my Windows and Linux install, trying to figure out what is the best way to do this sort of install. So annoying, I can't figure it out yet. I tried 20 different versions of it, and it's still really annoying. Now, in terms of Bethesda games on PS5, Phil Spencer, I'm just going to give you a download quickly. Phil Spencer said that we don't have to ship on any other platform, end quote. Literally what he said. Now, Spencer did say that that the goal of it was not to take games away from other player bases, but because they want more people to play games. But they also said that the company doesn't have to ship those games on another platform to make it work for them. So, we're not sure whether this actually happens, but it definitely seems like after Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, the games will be exclusive to Xbox. Switch, we're not sure about. I say that, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I understand though if they can't do it. They say it's not sustainable for them to put games on other platforms. But I hope that they do put a few of the Bethesda long-running series back on there. I just feel like it'd be unfair to PlayStation players, but regardless, if you're a PlayStation player, we do have a console for you to play these games on. It's called your phone. See, yeah, no, I was not actually, I only decided to go there. So, if you remember back in 2013, whoever was head, I can't even be bothered to look up his name or remember it. He was such an idiot. He came out with this statement saying anyone who doesn't want to play online, they have something for them called the Xbox 360. See, I think Microsoft, if they do this, they just have to say, listen, we do have something for you to play on. It's called a phone. And then people buy a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, and people start streaming their games on their phones. And because most likely the Bethesda games will come to xCloud when launched in a year or so, it would definitely be beneficial, because with the games being owned by Microsoft, put it on xCloud. People pay how much it is a month. I think it's about $15 a month, £10 a month. People pay that. They get access to a whole line of games, including exclusives. They don't need an Xbox. They have access to the exclusives. I'm still saying with my Xbox console, just personal preference, but I'm just saying, for those who really want a PlayStation for PlayStation exclusives, xCloud is a viable alternative to a PC or a console. Very viable as long as you have a good network connection, and it doesn't have to be incredible. So remember, Microsoft aren't fully taking it away from you as long as they do ship it on xCloud and PC. You do have other options. I do feel kind of bad saying that. But point is, yeah. So that's kind of everything today. I just kind of want to end on a bit of an opinion note, and lots of people are saying that Microsoft are, I don't know, lots of people are saying that Microsoft aren't doing the best thing, or aren't, like, by giving all of these notices to people, etc., saying not finalised, not fully ready. They're being quite anti-consumer with that, because they're being anti-review, because they're kind of saying, listen, you have to include all of these notices. My response to these is simple, really. At least they're giving people the console. I know we had a Japanese gameplay, but that was in a monitored Sony environment where Sony reps were standing around, probably watching what they're saying to make sure they don't say anything that goes along against what they want them to say. It was linked very specifically to games, and in terms of loading times, we didn't even get to see loading times. Like, Sony, they recently showed their UI, and inside of that UI, they actually did a fast forward when going through a game. Which, to me, I don't know, I'm just worried about something to do with Sony. That's not right. But, regardless of that, I think Sony do have a good console. They have definitely, the thing is, they were done, after the teardown was done, Austin Evans, he did a price analysis on both of the consoles, because he's seen them both unpacked, because he got to see the Series X in kind of laid out form. And he said that Sony are making a small profit on their console. Like, Sony are making a profit, maybe not a big one, but definitely a profit, because they've gone for a slightly cheaper construction, according to Austin. This is not my opinion, this is what Austin Evans is saying. And he's saying that with Sony going for a cheap construction, they can make a profit. But Microsoft, supposedly, by going to the £450 price point, they, in theory, are not making a profit. According to Austin and his presenting partner Matt, different presenting partners to the one I present with, but according to those two, Xbox can't, it doesn't seem feasible for Xbox to be making a dime on the Series X, and that is what I find absolutely incredible. Not a dime, nothing. Microsoft is selling their console at a loss to compete with Sony. How are we going to recuperate that money? How are we going to get it back? Especially if most people go for all access as well. don't forget, with All Access, you actually pay less than the full price of the console. When it comes down to the amount you would actually pay for a console compared to Game Pass. And if you are paying, if that is accurate, Microsoft are just taking the Xbox as a loss. Like, they're not making a profit. Because they don't make a profit on individual console sales. There's not really a way to get that profit. So I just thought I'd put that out in there, because they don't make a profit from Game Pass Ultimate. That much is clear, because they have to pay developers and now EA. Like, I can't see them making a profit on anything at the minute. And yeah, it's just incredible. I don't know where they get the profit from, but where they're getting it from is definitely incredible. Anyway, my name's Luke. Thank you for listening. This is Done Out Just World, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Thanks for listening.